Good morning, Hampton Roads. How's everybody doing today? And welcome to Virginia's only local real estate investing podcast, where we get to talk about local investors, local deals, and all things local. I'm your host, the founder of the Master Investor Academy and author of my best-selling book, Work Just Gets in the Way of Making Money, Scott Jelinek. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, properties you'd like to sell, things you'd like to discuss, you can go ahead and text me directly at 757-699-4227. That's 757-699-4227. A couple of things I wanted to point out before we get started is if you're new to listening, please do me a favor and go ahead and leave me a rating and review if you're listening on the podcast. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up just so that I know you're out there. I appreciate it. And it helps keep me going to know, I got more people listening and giving me reviews saying that you enjoy it. And I apologize. I know it's been a little bit. I know, Shlomo, I saw your message the other day that, sorry, that where have I been? I've been doing a lot. I had my 3-day event this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And for those of you who've ever been to one or know, we put a lot into that. So it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of planning. And this was by far the biggest event we have ever had. We had, I think, 225 people there, which was, I think our biggest event prior to that was about 140. So it was significantly larger than anything we've ever had before. And so it was a lot of work and a lot going into it. On another note, a lot of you guys that listen to this were there. I know we had people sign up directly through this podcast, but for those of you who weren't there, I want to tell you something interesting is that I had my son. Well, I didn't have him. He asked, but my son spoke at the event just for about 10 minutes, but he actually asked me if he can speak. And I said, sure. What are you going to speak about? And he told me that he had a plan. He didn't want to tell me. And I let it go. And I just trusted that he would do it. And anyway, the only thing I kept saying, I said, well, just make sure somehow it ties into real estate. I don't just want you to go and talk about, your high school or something. So I wanted it to tie into real estate. Well, he did a presentation that he called Fear and Regret, and it was actually really good. And he talked about different things he did, that he was really scared to do it, and then how it turned out when he forced himself to do it. Then he talked about one thing that he didn't do, and this was actually when we were at the College World Series the first time, somebody he could have went up to, and he was scared and he didn't do it, and he's always regretted it, the fact that he didn't do it. And then he tied it all into real estate by talking about, if you're thinking about getting into this, or if you're thinking about buying a house, even though you're scared, you just need to go ahead and do it, or you're going to end up regretting it forever. He did a really good job. And I didn't really know what he was going to talk about, so I didn't know what to expect. So anyway, I checked into the hotel on Thursday. The event was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 3:00 in the morning. On Monday morning, I had to leave the hotel to catch a flight to go to St. Louis because I'm in a mastermind group there, and that meeting was Monday and Tuesday, starting at 9:00. So I actually landed at about 8:15, went straight to the meeting, exhausted as I was, had 2 more full days out there, then flew home, and now we're back at business. So I have several new people that have signed up with my partner program from the event, and I am really, really looking forward to that, because for those of you who know me or have worked with me, that's like my highlight is when I get to take people that haven't done this before or have done it but haven't done it successfully, and kind of push and shape and mold them into doing a successful real estate investing business. And that's one of my favorite things, especially when we have people that have never done it before, and they've been scared, and then they finally jumped into the program and are crushing it. And so I'm very excited. I can't wait we probably don't start working for 2 or 3 weeks with the new people, but I'm very excited to start working with them, because it is it's a lot of fun, especially when people are brand new. It's a lot of fun just getting everything set up, started, and bringing them into the fold. So I can't wait. I'm very excited about that. So I want to tell you about what else? Oh, today is Saturday. Today is Saturday morning right now, and it's 11:50. In 10 minutes, the Mississippi State versus LSU game starts. I don't know. I know you guys probably aren't Mississippi State fans, but if you saw that game last week, they got robbed. That was unfair. SEC even put out a statement afterwards how it was a bad call, but it is what it is. The game ended. But today they play LSU. We're hopeful. They beat them. Then they lost. Then they lost. Then they beat them. And now here we are. So we're going to see how they do today. I feel like it should be a good game. And that's in 10 minutes. So I'm going to wrap it up with you. But I want to talk to you about a couple deals that I just closed this week. So one is I closed that deal. That was a big wholesale deal. I thought I was making 42 on it, but I ended up paying out closing costs. It ended up being 39, something I made on it. But it was that was a great deal. And the reason I like talking about this deal, and I know I've told you about it already, but I'm going to tell you again, is because of the fact that I was the third person the seller called. And I can't stress that enough to you guys, which is why I keep telling you. I was the third person they called. The first guy came out, did a great appointment, did a great presentation. And then in the end, he told him that he had to crunch the numbers and he'd get back to him. And you always have to remember, you're dealing with a motivated seller. They have a pain and they need it done. They need that pain to go away. And so right as soon as that guy left, he picked up the phone and called another investor. And this other investor did his presentation over the phone, felt him out, got his, his needs, what he wanted, made him an offer, which the seller was acceptable to. Same offer I ended up making. And the seller was okay with that, but he wanted him to sign a contract before that buyer would come out and look at the property, as if his time was too valuable. So the seller was like, well, my house was in deplorable condition. I'm not going to sign anything until you see just how deplorable it is. And the buyer was saying, no, I'm not going to come out there until you sign a contract. And so the seller then picked up the phone and called number 3. And we were number 3. Actually, he went online because he filled out a web form. He went online and filled out number 3. We were number 3. I went out there and like we always do, like we teach, we made our offer right on the spot. And the seller was thrilled. We got it closed. We ended up making $39,800 something after all the expenses that we had come out of it. So it was a fantastic deal. But the reason I keep stressing on it is because of the fact that we were the third investor out there. You guys listening may have been investor number 1 or investor number 2. And so don't let that happen to you. If you get a call, remember they have a pain and you got to solve it immediately. Barring that, I closed on 2 other properties this week, 2 holds. One of them is not the greatest of deals. I mean, it's a good deal. The house is a good deal. The reason I say not the greatest of deals is because it has a tenant in it that has not paid rent in 13, 14 months. We've already been working on the eviction prior to closing. So hopefully it gets done within 30 days or so. The courts are opened up again. So hopefully it gets done in 30 days or so. But it's always tricky when you buy a property with a non-paying tenant. You're assuming that risk. And that's part of why we got the deal. So I'm okay with it. I'll feel a lot better about it once we get that tenant out and make it producing. The second one we closed on, I just closed yesterday. This is in downtown Newport News. This one was a deal. I bought it sub 2, subject to the existing financing. And I know we talk a lot about that. I'm not huge on sub 2 like I used to be, but sometimes it does fit the mold. I think I've bought maybe 3 sub 2s this year. So I purchased this one. I only had to give $2,000 down and then take over the existing mortgage. They owed just under $60,000, which is more than if I was paying cash, I probably would have capped out at about 45. But sub 2 gives me a little bit of leeway because we don't have to borrow the private money. We don't have to do any qualifying for anything. So it cost me $2,000. I take over a payment. He's got 15 years left on the mortgage. His payment is about $700. I should get about $1,175. So I figure, hey, if it was my only property, if I was only buying one property, I might be like, oh, it's not worth it for that. But the fact that I have 126, 27 now, I'm just going to throw it into the mix. It's $2,000 out of pocket. I'm going to get probably $5,000 to $8,000 down from my first buyer. So it's like a free house. Why wouldn't you take a free house, right? As long as the numbers work, absolutely. I will take a free house all day long. So those are the deals I have going right now. I have one closing next week, a sell. This is one that I wholetailed. I bought it strictly. It's a duplex occupied, and I bought it strictly with the purpose of listing it, which I did. The first contract I had fell through because my seller lost his job and then no longer qualified for his mortgage. So we put it back on the market, got a contract right away, and it's pending closing this week. And I think that might be all I have pending for this week. So I just wanted to get back on here and share that with you guys. By all means, I love that a lot of you guys text me. You text me your deals that you have going on. I comment if you're watching it on YouTube. Feel free to comment down below. I like knowing what's going on in everyone's lives. I also like knowing if any of the information that we share with you is helpful to you. If you've used it, if you're making money with it, which is always a big plus, keeps us motivated to keep doing what we're doing. And so feel free, please do it, and also just give me a thumbs up, just so I know you're out there, you're listening, and that you're enjoying what we are putting out to you. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to, I got 4 minutes till this game starts. So I'm going to head down. And then tonight, last thing tonight at 6 o'clock, we got the ODU game. So we're going to watch this game now. Then we got ODU at 6 o'clock. And then hopefully we have a good double wins for the day. So maybe I'll see you guys at the game. I know a lot of you guys are local and probably ODU fans. And so maybe I'll see you guys at the game. That's all I got for you today. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Thank you for watching, listening. Give me a thumbs up, and I will see you soon. Have an absolutely